I received this vision on the 16th of April, and I'm just going to read verses 1 through 3. And I'm going to stop on 3. If there's any questions, I'm trying to make sure I catch everybody. Let me know. You might have questions on this one. And the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth, and to him was given the keys of the bottomless pit. Sorry, the key of the bottomless pit. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there rose a smoke out of the pit, as the smoke of a great furnace. And the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. Verse 3. And there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth, and unto them was given power. So, given power as the scorpions of the earth have power. All right. All right. So, and for those about the millennial reign who want to know about the occupation, good. Thanks for saying that, Sam. Just pray to the Lord and ask. God has shown me some of the things I'm going to be doing in the millennial reign, but it's kind of personal. Can't really share it here, but just ask and continue to ask. Just wait on the Lord. He'll show you more. And this is probably an alleyway for many of you guys to start to seek God. You know, God presents this not because I'm anything. Trust me, I'm in the same place as y'all. But he presents this through his people so that we can go and seek him about it. It's another alleyway. Like, oh, really? This is what it's about. God, show me more, and He will. So this may be that turning point for you to get answers now. So, but going into where I was in verse 3. So in verse 3, where it was talking about, and there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth, and upon them was given power as a scorpion of the earth have power. I saw this vision, and so I see this billowing smoke going straight up into the sky, and it covered the sky, and it blocked out the sun, and the air was now like this gray smoke, evil. The earth, the air, all the air, the sun was not showing. And out of this, there were these bugs, but they weren't bugs. They were like aliens, but they weren't aliens. These things had the face of men, but it looked like scrunched up faces. They had wings of locusts, like bug wings, but they were massive. They had tails that were long, that looked like they had armor on them, like plated armor on their tails. They were totally disgusting. And I'm watching them seem to come out of the smoke without any heads up. They just pour out like armies and armies and armies and armies. And so as I'm watching this, I said, like, these demon-like bugs look like something from the Alien movie. They latched on to people and attacked people in cities. Okay? I saw people outside their cars looking up, and these bugs, they latched onto them. The way I mean latched on, just like a scorpion latches on with their pinchers and never lets go, so are these bugs. But these, well, demons, fallen angels, locusts, they didn't kill the people, but they latched onto them and caused them turmoil and pain. It was like pain never leaving. It was like turmoil never leaving. It was like once this demonic thing, Nephilim, they literally seemed to, it was like you couldn't get them off of you. You could not get these things off you. And they were tall, they were big as humans. They were big as humans. They weren't small, little itty bitty. They were big, guys. They were massive. They were strong. And as I'm watching them, I remember seeing a woman come out their car and they're just looking up at, because at first they're looking up at this gray, cloudy sky. I mean, it made things look dim, not dark, but everything looked dim. And I understood that this smoke came from in the earth. This was in the earth. When it says there was a bottomless pit and someone unlocked the key to open it, it's for real. This is something supernatural, literal happening. A opening in the earth where the smoke from hell came out. If people don't know about hell, it's really not that far away. But the smoke from hell was coming out onto the earth. This smoke was so thick. You didn't want to get close to this because you could never tell what was inside of it. If you were to fly through the smoke, you would be like, oh man, I can't see anything. And I know there's evil here. It was interesting. You could sense, you knew there was evil in this smoke. And it was so thick. I mean, thick, thick. It was so thick, just so thick. It looked like almost like a comforter blanket, but in air form. You wouldn't want to fly through this. You couldn't pierce through this. You could not pierce through this smoke. This was an insane type of cloud. And it came literally out of the earth. The inside of the earth like threw up the smoke out. And I don't know where though. I don't know where. Okay. So what else did I see? Okay. And so yeah, I saw that woman. She was outside of her car looking up, and this locust flew down and just like attached to her and was now just bound to her. She could not leave this thing. This thing was going to torment her for a while now. For a while. This thing was bigger than her, taller than her, stronger than her. She had no power to overcome this thing. Jesus was not going to save her. This is the wrath of God after God has done the revival. After God has gathered his people, and these people who are still on the earth who did not choose God, did not repent, did not renounce what they believed in and choose Christ, here's their portion. This is the wrath of God. Understand, the people of God are not appointed to God's wrath. You and me are not appointed to his wrath, to this stuff. These are people who really, really, really rejected Jesus. Okay? Get that straight. Don't worry. Don't fear about this. So I watched, and people were being stung by their tails. I saw where a man, I'm looking at it again, I'm looking at it right now. And there's a man who gets stabbed in his back by this tail, and he screeches out in agony, but he doesn't die. He doesn't die. He hits straight in his spine that should kill somebody, but he doesn't die. He's paralyzed now, but the demon doesn't leave. This thing is still there. And I understand this is a verse where it says these things would torment them for 5 months. Read the rest of the chapter, it's right there. They get tormented for 5 months with this because they wanted Satan's ways. So here's Satan's ways. This is Satan's ways. He doesn't want to leave. He wants to continue to torment. These things came out of hell itself, man. They were disgusting. It's terrible. It's terrible. Understand, in this time frame, on this planet, the veil will be removed. The veil will be gone. You're going to see demonic just like you see people, and they're just going to be there. They're just going to be there. Okay? So I saw this vision, and I said, Lord, I'm seeing what I'm seeing. And I asked him multiple times, and he said, yes, 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 and yes. And I said, okay, Lord, I'll keep looking. Okay, I'll keep looking. Now, we're going into the past now. Because God showed me that, but then God has also shown me what he is preventing right now. Okay, right now. And I'm gonna get to your comments, guys. I'm gonna get to them in a second. I just gotta finish this out. So then the scene shifts to where I'm into a now space, today's space, 2020. And I'm in this underground place, underground place, way underneath the ground, way, I mean, miles, miles, and miles down. I don't know where I'm at, but I'm watching this woman. And if you got children and you don't want them to hear this part, just close your ears, for real. I saw this woman laying on the surgical table, and this woman was on the surgical table with her legs and arms exposed. And these same locusts that are under the ground, they're there now, guys. It's not like they just show up and they're created. These locusts are still down there now, already. Now. They have her on the surgical table and they pull her arms off. They pull her arms off and then they pull her legs off. Just tear them off. They literally just tear them off. I see, man, I see blood issuing out of her shoulders and out of her thighs from where they tore off. And she's just laying there, dead. I'm sorry to share this. I know this is not cool. But I have to share what God shows me. Then, this same locust demon takes her legs and her arms and puts them in a mining cart, all underground. And this demon is now pushing this mining cart somewhere. Okay, somewhere. And then the vision ends on that scene. Okay. Okay. I understood when they did this to this woman. They are keeping the limbs of humans. They're keeping the limbs of humans. It seems like they're storing them in these mining carts and they're sent off somewhere. And in this environment, it's like cave underground dark. There's not much light in this place. I was only able to see because God was allowing me to. You would need a big flashlight to see what's in this place. It's very dark. It was like the evil spirits could see in the dark. They liked it that way. They wanted it that way. Okay? Now, as I'm watching this mining cart being sent off somewhere, I see where it stops, and it's in this area of nothing but body parts. I'm seeing body parts piled up, limbs piled up, and God shows me that same cart of that woman's legs. He shows me like one of them floats out and comes to me, and God shows me He splits the leg in half and it opens up. And God has shown me they want the bone marrow. They want the beginning cells of a human body. If you're not so familiar with anatomy, your bones have the baby cells that become blood cells, the baby cells that become muscle cells, the baby cells that become everything else. It's in your bones, which is very symbolic of your structure. So God showed me that He split open the leg and showed me this is what they're after. They're after that so that they can create, they can establish this being I'm about to get into. So then what I saw was after this room was revealed to me of just nothing but body parts, the scene changes to where I'm still in this underground cave area. And I see this huge area, this huge circumference, circular area, had to be hundreds and hundreds of feet wide, north and south, up and down. It was like a stadium type of measurement area. underground. And as I'm looking at this, I'm understanding that this is in a location in the sea right now. Right now. I was shown in a vision where I'm over this body of water. I don't know where. It looked like it was east somewhere of the United States. I don't know where. God didn't show me or tell me, but He showed me somewhere east of the United States. And I'm treading in the water in this vision. And then I see the huge hand of God do this. He just points to a specific part of the water I'm treading in ahead of me. It's like in front of me. And He shows me, this is where I want you to go. And I'm like, you want me to go in the water? Okay. And so in the vision, I go down in the water and I go so deep, guys. I go so deep. I go to the part of the water where light can't get to. I go to the part of the water where light can't go. I'm understanding I'm so deep in the water, in the sea right now, that it's all darkness. All darkness. And at the bottom of, once I get to the floor, there's this big, huge hole, like a big, huge circular hole where you could swim through in it. And so I swim through and I go down into this hole. And it's like a cave, but it's centered down. It's not a cave on the side of a cliff or on a rock. It's straight down. And I'm going through down below, and I'm going through and I'm swimming. And eventually it curves up to where I get up and there's this little pocket of air, this little space of land where it's like sand and gravel, where you can kind of climb out the water and there's air. In front of me is nothing but a pitch black dark passageway. And I start going forward in this place. I start walking forward. And I notice as I'm walking forward, I can hear the drips of water hitting the land, hitting the side of the rocks. The rocks around this tunnel were like rocky and bumpy. It was like someone had carved this out, but it was not smoothly carved out. It's like it's been here for a very, 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 very long time, this passageway. And I remember I was touching my hands on the walls and it was kind of wet, and I kept going. And this is where I ended up into this containment place, this insane containment place. And that's where it's like God brought me straight to this big open stadium area. Now, it had no stadium technology, not like that, no seats, but just the sheer size of it replicated of a stadium area. And so as I get to the entrance of this place, I'm in my room, I'm glorified, it looks like. And of course, these demons can't see me because I'm observing. It goes down 3 tiers. Like there's on the outsides of this stadium, there's 3 walkways to where they circumference the center of this space, which is the importance. And on these walkways, you can see where they're Nephilim with their carts walking around like they're doing work, like ants, being busy. Now, in the center of this area, I see this huge human body. It looked like a giant person. Okay, this giant body, and this body was not alive. It was literally like a suit. It was like taking a Caucasian physical man's body, making it giant as a stadium, and just have it sitting there lifeless, standing up straight. As I was watching this, God spoke to me. And God said, they are trying to create their God, is what I heard the Lord say. And I said, I see this being standing incredibly tall. And I see inside this being a demon. One demon was housing this thing. This demon was housing this vessel made out of human flesh from many people. And then God said to me, the demon needs a body to fool the people. But then Jesus said, it won't last, though. I said, I took a minute to be still to make sure I was seeing all that I was seeing. And as I was being still, the Lord said, this has happened before. And God said, then God showed me in this vision Noah's day. They have tried to do this before in the days of Noah. And this is another reason why I'm really cool you brought up that question, why God flooded the whole world. See, the enemy was beneath the ground, on the ground, and in the sky in that time. And he was trying to create his whole world there. He was trying to turn up everything and make it his planet. He was trying to create giants of all types, do grotesque things, evil things, deceptive things, contorted things. And so God was showing me is that they were tearing off what was God's and contorting it to their worship of lies. And then I saw, as I was looking at this giant, I then saw a flash vision of flies. And God started showing me that this is filth and stench and evil, and it will not stand. I said, I see this giant buckle at its knees. This giant, now that had that demon, it was buckling at his knees. Something had happened. And it was and this demon, this vessel, not the demon, was falling down and crumbling. I said that the demon that was housing this vessel exited out of its head because it couldn't last there, because something had happened that God did that caused this giant to buckle. Okay? As I saw this happen, I heard God say, I won't make it last. I will utterly demolish this devil from out of this containment. God called this vessel, this body, a containment. I then see the fist of God come down on the head of this huge giant. I saw his fist come down like that, and boom, it hit the giant's head. And that's when the knees of this giant containment vessel buckled. Okay? I understood, like I said before, that this thing was built underneath the ground, underneath the ocean. Okay? Then I see, almost done. I see where, like I talked about, where I went through this and I described the pretty much environment of this underground place. I then see, I hear the Lord as I'm watching this stuff take place, this buckling, this crushing. The giant will fall. I then see what caused it. God showed me, I see a great earthquake happen and cause the thing to crumble and cave in. There was this sudden earthquake underground, and I see just the whole earthquake shake. And I see the Nephilim who are carrying the carts of body parts, they didn't see it coming. And I see where the walls start caving in. I see where there's a Nephilim walking with a mining cart of bodies, and he's in a tunnel going somewhere. It caves in, the tunnels cave in on them. I see where the whole entire, this big stadium area where this giant was, or was supposed to be, God showed me they're starting it and they're trying to build it, but they won't complete it. I see where God literally causes a massive earthquake to take place, and it vibrates and just everything caves in and crumbles, and it's just consumed. It is now filled with nothing but dirt, rock, and rubble. Nothing is coming back from this. Nothing's coming back from this. Okay. Um, what else did I see? I said the whole circumference is filled with rock and dirt. It is literally compacted. It wasn't like God caused the earthquake to destroy everything. No, he caused an earthquake to compact that thing, that it could never come back. It will never come back. And then I heard the Lord say, they won't make it. And he said it so calm, like they're getting nowhere. All right, they're getting nowhere. And then I said, let me see. After that, the vision ends with what I said before, with that one Nephilim being crushed while he was pushing a cart. Then the Lord said to me, my people will not be succumbed to this. I have a plan. They will not have this. My people will be positioned for my turmoil of the enemy. He will not stand. He will be utterly crushed, defeated. Nothing will stand against my quaking. I will shake the filth out of this place. It will not rise up. Deep in the earth, deep in the earth, this takes place. I have seen it all. He said, they are trying to build this now, but it won't last. It will fall. All right. And so that was the second vision. That's what God showed me.